Going live. We are live. Hello everybody. We're live on YouTube today. Early in the morning. Well, early in the day. Well, it just past noon on the Pacific Coast. November 7, 2020. We're going to cover the big news here that's going on in the election. Looks like they have announced a president-elect. Okay. Anybody watching there, post a comment. Tell me how the audio and video is. We are going to try to make sense of this news coverage. Oh no. And I got another video I had planned for this time slot here. I've pushed that back 2 or 3 hours. And that video is even more important to watch. And there's another question that I try to answer in that video. But this news was unexpected for me. Was it unexpected for you too? Was there any word that this was going to come down this morning? Don't have a keyboard? You have a keyboard out there? Jerry should be here. Okay, we're going to start. All right. We're going to go back a few hours and see what the news looked like early in the morning. Let's see here. Five in the morning.
Simplifies the art of cooking so that you.
Here we go. Let's see what this was like here.
We're not going to control the pandemic. We are going to control the fact that we get vaccines, therapeutics, and other mitigation
Why aren't we going to get
areas
control of the pandemic?
Because it is a contagious virus, just like the flu.
Less than 2 weeks after White House
Okay.
Chief of Staff Mark Meadows made that admission that the Trump White House was not trying to control the pandemic, knew overnight that Meadows himself.
Okay, he's got the virus. Moving along. Oh yeah, remember when Donald Trump said, he said, I have a feeling that after November 3, the news media will not be talking about the virus much anymore. Yeah, because we're talking about his latest stuff that he's doing. But see, interesting enough that at this point here, the Trump administration was trying to hide that they got someone else with the virus. Try to keep that out of the news there. But now fast forward to the election. Joe Biden widens his lead in Pennsylvania.
But they believe that Gerald R. Ford will be
Breaking news out of the 70s.
the Republican. They're not sure yet, but they believe that Gerald R. Ford will be the Republican Party's 1976 presidential nominee. It's taken a while, but many things they were concerned about, even after the death of Ronald Reagan, they still wanted to wait.
Now I understand why he was saying that, because a few minutes later he was on a rant about how they should be calling Pennsylvania. So he's saying they're slow in doing that. But I disagreed back then. Anybody out there agree? Let's go. Okay, here, Pennsylvania. And see down here it says 96% are in. And this was 7 hours ago. I estimate that 1%, it took like 18 hours to get through 1%. I figure we had till Monday. It's still kind of tight.
Joe Biden getting over 60% in Washington County. Allegheny County yesterday reporting military ballots and also damaged ballots to believe that maybe, just maybe, those military ballots would break in Donald Trump's way. No, even with the military ballots by mail, they broke like 4-1 to Joe Biden. There is no data. There are no trends. There are no excuses for not calling the state of Pennsylvania. And listen, here's the deal. Here's all I'm.
He's got that from Joe Biden. Yeah, what exactly is the deal here? That's what we're gonna go through that.
Saying. If you're not going to use the same standards that networks have used over the past 4 decades,
That's fine.
that's fine. Just stop calling races. I'm totally fine with that. If we
Okay.
want to wait till the states certify it, that's fine. But we can't have one rule based on how you're going to call something early on Tuesday night and another rule 3 days later because you're scared Donald Trump's going to be.
Yeah, see, he's not talking about Donald Trump. Now, he's not criticizing the media. Well, we have good reason to be scared of Trump.
Angry
But
with
Joe,
you. No data supports this.
another reason we're
You are not going to like him when he's angry. We haven't really seen him real angry yet.
here is because of how certain states set this all up. And
Right.
But see, this news that just broke here could do it. And I think it was too soon.
could have been counting before. They could have perhaps, we could have been done with this on election night. So it's not just.
Only if Pennsylvania was allowed to start counting the mail-in ballots earlier, like I think Florida was able to do that. Right. See, why was Florida able to start counting early, but Pennsylvania was not? Well, look at the way it turned out. Florida went for Trump. And so he got that news on election night. Pennsylvania comes in for Biden 4 days later. Maybe that was all planned out by somebody.
The calls that are being made by networks now, it is the way certain states set up the way they count the ballots.
Well,
and that
yep.
was brought to you by the Republican Party.
Well, let's be very.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize I was gonna be showing this in my video. I was thinking of doing a special short video called "Mika Comes Close to Cursing" on a special edition of the Joe Scarborough Show. We might come across that here.
Very specific, and we're going to be talking to the supervisor of elections in Allegheny County soon, and I'm going to ask him about what happened in Pennsylvania, because the Pennsylvania governor begged the state legislature there repeatedly, said, what can I do?
Right.
What can I do?
We're also going to get into, well, what about the fraud? I'm not hiding from anything here. And I'm reading your comments coming in. I'll answer any questions.
We're still counting. And
See, I'm not like that Trump supporter that we're going to look into. That guy, the more I see of him, the more it seems like he is just, it's just fake. It's just fake. So, keep going here.
very good for Joe Biden, and that's an understatement. Joining us now, House Editor for the Cook Political Report, Dave Wasser.
Okay. We'll scroll through this, find some stuff that I can talk about. Now see here, the headline, Biden leading in Pennsylvania with more votes to be counted. 96% in. And I figured they would have to get to 99% in order to be sure. And I thought that would take till Monday.
The remaining uncertainty is the nature of the provisional ballots. And although we have this limited data on
The provisional ballots, right? What about those?
provisionals from some of the most rural counties in the state that have gotten done with their provisional count quickly, we can't know for sure that those proportions will remain true in the remaining 57 counties in Pennsylvania. Although, look, I think the trajectory right now is quite clear.
Do you know anybody else, though? Do you know anybody else that believes Donald Trump? My question was, do you know anybody that believes Donald Trump has
No, I don't.
even the remotest chance of winning Pennsylvania?
Okay.
No, that's a no. Okay, Willie.
I've seen enough of this line of questioning.
Yeah, thank you, witness.
Poor
You can
Dave.
step down now. My co-counsel Willie Geist will now ask you the next question.
So Dave, let me try another state on you. So Pennsylvania, we hope to know some more vote at some point this morning, hopefully within our next hour or two while we're on the air here on MSNBC. But let me ask you about Nevada.
It's all about Pennsylvania. Count and vote continues. More ballots just in. What was that? Justice, I want to Alito. He orders late arriving ballots to be separated.
Challenges.
Okay, what do we got here? Joe Biden put on suspended animation. Count drags on. Yeah, it just seemed really slow.
The president himself is certainly angry here. He's flailing. He does not want to be perceived as a loser. He does not want this election to be decided.
Yes, if you think about Trump and his life, if you know his history, this could be the worst thing that's ever happened to him. You might be thinking, well, he's had some losses. What about his 3 divorces? Well, he doesn't care about those. I think this is it. This is going to be bad. And there's people still saying, "Oh yeah, he'll leave. He'll do the right." No, they didn't say that. If they were going to say that, they would have stopped just like I did. No, he's never done the right thing. He's given us every hint.
Appalled, but people around him recognize they have little to no path here. They're watching the vote counts. And yes, the networks are being cautious, but they will get there.
His team and people around him probably see that it's all going to be over and he'll have to leave. But there's word that they're trying to figure out how to tell him, how to get him to leave. That shows you something. There we are. Oh, and yeah, I can't imagine him giving a concession speech. He'll be the first president not to do that and not to meet with the future president. It's only going to get worse.
It is that 35,000 vote threshold in Pennsylvania, or when we get more votes later today from Nevada, or perhaps when Arizona releases another batch this evening. There will be states that are called. None of them appear to be called for the president. And now, as
Let's go back on the...
he's a loser, he does not want this election to be decided or called, but people around him recognize they have little to no path here. They're watching the vote counts, and yes, the networks are being cautious, but they will get there, whether it is that 35,000 vote threshold in Pennsylvania, or when we get more votes later today from Nevada, or perhaps when Arizona releases another batch.
See, they're being cautious, the networks. And that's a good thing. Just as, even if it's, you know.
We love Wolf Blitzer, but I'm not going to comment on Wolf Blitzer.
Right, okay.
Right, that's
I
Wolf
love him.
Blitzer. So let's talk about what you're paid to do, and that is to track congressional races. The weekend before.
Let's get to the rant. Yeah.
On Apple Podcasts.
I sent out a statement on Twitter this morning that I think you've all gotten, and beyond that, I don't have anything to say on that. I have talked about.
Yeah, he said just look at my tweet. And I think the tweet was fine. And it was fine that he did this. But Joe has some problem with it. Joe's been having a big problem lately. Scarborough. Here we go. Here we go.
To follow the rule of law. Everything Mitch McConnell said in there was correct. Count all the votes.
Oh, it's the other way around.
Counting of the votes. If there are any illegal votes, you throw them out. And
Yeah, it was Scarborough that agreed with me here.
have court challenges.
Mika had a problem with that.
You call
That's
that
what's happening.
following the rule of law, right? And so when people look at that and say, well, why doesn't Mitch McConnell come out and say that in and of itself is Mitch McConnell distancing himself from Donald Trump, who's tried to stop this vote?
Yep, it's all falling apart. See, these are the same numbers we've been getting for like a day and a half. No change.
Repeatedly, and has put up bogus claims.
That's not answering what
it
he
is.
really thinks of what Donald Trump is doing right now.
But he's not going to do that. That's politics. He can't do that. Wait a minute. He can do it now because he knows that Donald Trump isn't going to be the president after January 20. So what's he afraid of now? Oh, he's afraid of the supporters. See, they're still there. And they can still vote.
But listen, I don't care about a one-off. I want to know that people who are in charge right now at this point are interested in following the rule of law more than they are in a...
See, that's Mika's Joe's about to rant face.
A former reality TV host who's about to lose. One other thing, too, because I haven't really given any of my opinions on any topics this morning.
Please tell me how you feel.
If you're a politician, or if you want to run for office, study that Mitch McConnell clip, okay? That's actually what you do. Put out a statement, And when people badger you to try to get you to say something, you don't have to answer. Refer them back to the statement, because you know what? You'll never please them. You'll never make them happy. And that's my lesson for young budding politicians.
It may be politically
for
adept,
today.
but it is avoiding the one part. I know.
No, it's not.
It's avoiding what Trump has been doing all night. Okay, which is dangerous.
Well, but I don't. Again,
I'm not saying what Mitch McConnell is saying is dangerous. I'm saying Trump is pushing the country in a dangerous direction.
But Jonathan Lemire, the country for the most part is not listening. Yes, I know. You'll have 15 or.
That's what I'm saying. Wow.
People. I think that's an important note to make. Campaigning through the pandemic, wearing a mask, socially distancing, and reaching out to people. I think that's an important note to make on.
Donner, party of one. Where are you? Are you there? Maybe I don't have it. I don't know how that could be. Oh, okay. An hour later here. Back to Pennsylvania. Again, still 96% in. And yeah, the numbers haven't changed.
Seeing is just because of the nature of the new mail-in voting laws in Pennsylvania, you might have an unusually high number of Republican voters here who, an example would be they got.
Boring.
Joining us
This
now.
morning. Hold on one second, though. I just want to underline something, and I'll say it, Steve, even though you can't. The numbers that are coming in from Allegheny are overwhelmingly for Biden. We even saw it with military and damaged ballots yesterday. The numbers coming in from Philly, overwhelmingly Biden. You look at the fact that, that the provisional ballots are in Allegheny and in Philly, that maybe half of them are there. And we still have, it's going to be extraordinarily hard. Well, let me just say it, impossible for Donald Trump to catch up if he gets the sort of 40,000, 50,000 cushion that you're talking about before we get to the provisional ballot. So let's do this right now. Let's bring in Rich Fitzgerald, who's doing a hell of a job in Allegheny County.
All right, let's see. So now we'll fast forward about 4 hours.
Lines right now. Food lines in America. People, 2 or 3 hours to get a little box of food that's to last all week. People are facing an eviction crisis right now. People are facing a healthcare disaster right now. So you got real pain.
Here is how different these two campaigns were. Joe Biden was criticized throughout the course of this campaign for campaigning from his basement.
Which are just the words of Trump. He was not in his basement campaigning. Basement. To get base. Come on. Anyway, here, just about 4 hours later, Fox News projects Biden wins presidency. And the reason?
COVID, his campaign recognized that in a way that was diametrically opposed to the way that the Trump.
And it's about Pennsylvania. So we fast forward there.
He has tried to get this off.
And look at this. Boom, they've got the highest number. That's a win right there. And why is that? There's Pennsylvania. They gave it to Biden and also gave Nevada to Biden. Now let's see what the numbers are.
Successful in the upper Midwest.
There's Pennsylvania. 99%. Big jump.
Legal ballots and not counting any illegal ballots. This is the only way to ensure the public has full confidence in our election. It remains shocking that the Biden campaign refuses to agree with this basic principle and wants ballots counted even if they are fraudulent.
Wait. I hadn't heard this. Here's something to cover.
Recounts for states where our campaign has.
But before we do that, I wanted to show you what's going on within the last hour. Look at what we will get from a Trump presidency. Look at these masses out there in the streets.
You're going to have gridlock and rising pain and fear on both sides. Those two things don't go well.
Talk about gridlock.
You have people in the urban environments who don't forget
people can't even drive down the street of New York here.
Food lines in America. People 2-3 hours to get a little box of food that has to last all week. People are facing an eviction crisis right now. People are facing a healthcare disaster.
Look at this. This guy's ready to kick someone's ass. Can't control himself.
In the urban parts of this country, they need relief. In the rural parts, you have economic pain and also
all covering their faces.
Senator just said, are they going to crack down on Christianity? You've got rising pain and fear on both sides.
And what happened to that bridge?
That is the most dangerous thing for this country. And so it's going to take
masses
political skill.
In the streets rioting. Lesbians dancing in the streets. Cats and dogs living in sin. This is the result. We can see that will come from a Trump presidency.
And so Joe Biden is coming in. I think America is blessed to have this guy. I think they're blessed because I think he does have those political skills. I think he wants to bring people together. He knows how to cut deals. But it's going to take people, including me and you, Senator, to get together and find a path forward, or we're going to have a big mess.
Well, you look at things that Joe Biden...
What the... Now, see, I'd seen this earlier, but I got distracted. Some kind of fight breaking out here.
Lose your country over. And so
Riots.
I think America is blessed to have this guy. I think they're blessed because I think he does have those political skills. I think he wants to bring people together. He knows how to cut deals. But it's going to take people, including me and you, Senator, to get together and find a path forward, or we're going to have a big mess.
He's trying to get out of there now. Whoa.
Can do, and without Republicans or the Congress. I mean, increasingly,
wow.
One of the concerns that conservatives have right now, and many voters have right now, is that
well, no one's saying anything, and then they cut away. Yes. Why'd they cut away? What's going on here? That is what I'll be discussing in my next video coming up in a couple hours. You're going to want to hear this because you're not going to hear it on TV news.
By Donald Trump, and I complained about it vociferously, was the use of executive orders. And executive orders that could be counter to what, in my opinion, or draw to the greatest extent.
Okay, I got a comment in here from my biggest carburetor fan, Gary. I'm at work. What did I miss? Well, I'm just going over the last few hours, showing how fast everything happened. And I'm thinking that...
The statute says.
No, I can't come up with anything. I haven't heard anything. But I have a good guess. Are all the provisional ballots left to count? I thought this was going to go on. I estimated it would go on for a couple more days. So I figure how they got from 96% to 99% so fast is they probably just were estimating. It's got the estimation off a little. I guess those percentages are estimates. I guess it's complicated. And then they suddenly realize I guess they made a correction in the estimate, and all of a sudden, once they got really close to the end, then they could see how close they were. So they put it at 99%. And I guess also adding to the speed at which they got to the end would be, throwing out all those provisional ballots. That'll speed things up.
In a really difficult time, does so at their own political peril, I think.
One thing I think Biden won't do is try and inflame the situation. And what we are used to is a president who stirs the pot any chance he can get. And
so let's just speed through this and see what else happens. Did you see that fight, Jerry? They were showing it, and then they cut away.
You will take over. In 74 days, there will be an inauguration outside the United States Capitol, and Joe Biden will become the President of the United States because of those 20. Pennsylvania. But now we've just added Nevada, which gets you to 279. And now, in a divided America, after a very polarizing election...
Let's get this.
Well, we see what's going on right now. That number could go up and up and up. There's still two other states where the president-elect could get some electoral votes and build it up potentially to 306.
It could, Wolf. And on this decisive day and a day of celebration for Joe Biden and for the Democratic Party and, of course, for Vice President-elect Harris, this is a critical calculation. Now you will take over. In 74 days, there will be an inauguration outside the United States Capitol, and Joe Biden will become the President of the United States because of those 20. Pennsylvania. But now we've just added Nevada, which gets you to 279. And now, in a divided America, after a very polarizing election, where, yes, Joe Biden got a record number of votes, but so did Donald Trump. Donald Trump got the second number of votes ever in a race for presidency. We don't expect him to go away. We expect him to leave the White House, but not to go
Just
away.
got a question. Will Trump try to take this to the Supreme Court?
What an important victory.
You're damn right he's going to.
Michigan, Wisconsin, that's what he said
That's
at the beginning of the campaign.
he's talked about the Supreme Court.
But is this the right man for this nomination? He said, I'm the best guy
I
to
think
do
that
Today he can say,
all these
I told you so. That's not the way he's going to say it.
all these low court failures he's had don't really matter. Matter of fact, I think this could even be a strategy. Remember how big Trump's brain is and how well it works. I think he's got, this is all part of a strategy. And while everybody's just celebrating, dancing in the street, that celebration isn't going to last long. Project, they're just playing around again.
The streets of major cities, waving flags, dancing, honking horns, voters choosing to end the volatile Trump presidency, and certainly in some cities in this country, Anderson, you can feel the excitement people feel right now.
Are you kidding me? You haven't seen volatile yet. Look, the volatility's just starting now. Biden is a madman. Look at what he has caused.
He has no plans to concede, no plans to invite Biden to the White House for the traditional...
See, I can do it just like Sticks.
But people have spoken. Biden has not only won the Electoral College, but more than 74 million votes, the most ever cast for a presidential candidate in American history. I want to go to CNN Jeff Zeleny, who is at the Biden headquarters.
Oh, is this straight from Trump? He said, well, of course I knew it's not going to concede, especially today. Remember the court. His court action is still going on. It's stopped just because the media came on with some new numbers. Those states can still be contested. But this is new. No plans to invite Biden to the White House, which every president does. But it's time we break these old habits. That's why Trump was elected.
Anybody, a judge for that matter, to any instances of voter fraud. And so the president right now is playing with a losing hand. He's been out on the golf course all day long, essentially trying to avoid the scene that he's coming back to right now. There is a chance we may see the president later on this evening. They haven't called a full lid for the day. Perhaps he'll want to come out and make a statement. But if past his prologue, consider what he was saying Thursday night. I was there in the White House briefing room, and when he just sort of
trying to catch up here.
I was there in the White House briefing room, and when he just sort of had a meltdown in front of everybody and could not accept what was on its way to happening. And I suspect, Aaron, if he does it again, he's going to have the same kind of episode.
I don't think I've really seen a meltdown. When I picture a Trump meltdown, that's not something I've seen yet. I think we're going to see it.
No question about it, Aaron. I've been in Washington all my life. I grew up here, and I've never seen a scene like this outside the grounds of the White House. The only thing I can compare it to is the mission to take out Osama bin Laden, the hostages coming home from Iran. I went and
1980. Cities erupt in violent celebration after Biden beats Trump. Well, what I thought I saw was there in that video was Biden supporters beating Trump supporter.
For the Biden campaign because I wanted a president that would actually help our country and not discriminate against many people.
Okay, that's great. And so you were saying that you were texting in Spanish because you're taking Spanish in school. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that's excellent. And so, what made you come out here? Why did you want your children to be part of this event?
It's just a historic moment.
Of this historic.
This looks like trouble.
White House today. I'll hand it back to you, but we'll be continuing to be part of this this gathering going forward for the rest of.
I think that is I heard about this from somebody on Twitter. Some kind of some ritual, voodoo ritual they do. I don't really know what that means, but I don't think it's good.
Too much, Anderson.
Joining me now, Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. Senator Sanders, first, your reaction, to seeing all these people out.
See, those people are going to have power. Biden's going to give them power, and it's going to make them dangerous. Let's see. Hopefully everyone stays calm here. Ooh. Jerry's at work. Could get dangerous.
Out in the streets celebrating, and to President-elect Biden.
Well, the irony is Jerry's going to miss my video coming up. He might miss it. That'll scare the crap out of him, especially if he's at work at the time.
When?
Well,
Bernie Sanders. That's weird. Let's check out Bernie.
Joining me now, Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. Senator Sanders, first, your reaction, to seeing all these people out in the streets celebrating, and to President-elect Biden's win.
Well, I congratulate Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for their great victory here in Burlington, Vermont. I think we have people out on the streets as well and all over the country. And the reason for that is that this was, Anderson, an election like we have never seen in our lifetimes, because it went really, really deep. It was about whether or not we remain a country that believes in the Constitution, that believes in the rule of law, and that believes in democracy. And thank God, democracy won out. So I just wish Joe and Kamala the very, very best in leading our country.
We know President Trump has not conceded. We know it seems like he has no plans to invite President-elect Biden to the White House at this point. What are your thoughts about just what this transition is going to be like?
Well, but whether Trump concedes or not is not relevant. Biden has won the election. He's going to be inaugurated. What is important right now, it seems to me, is that we understand the need to bring our people together.
It's getting boring. Oh, he's flailing his hands now here.
You name it, that's what he's going to have to deal with. And our job right now is to bring people together, it seems to me, around an agenda that works for all people, everybody. Republicans, Democrats know you got to raise the minimum wage to a living wage. They know that health care is a human right. We cannot continue being the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people. They know that we must deal with the existential threat of climate change. So I think the challenge is to reach out.
Okay. I was just thinking. What I was saying about these rioters here, I'm going to be checking out Stick's channel, I think today, and I will bet that he has said the same things about these. I think he's probably saying it right now. So we'll check him out in my next live video. And yeah.
He would like a progressive agenda across.
Well, I think he has a very, very strong mandate, Anderson, and I think.
So I'll be checking out him, a Trump supporter, and I'm going to check out Trump too. Going to critique and give my reaction to his latest speech.
What the American people want. You know what they want.
And I'm going to show you some clips that the news will not show you of some of the drama, tension on the street, anger. You thought you were angry when Trump became president. All those Trump supporters out there, they process their anger differently.
Mail-in voting and early voting. It's always been crazy to me that people should have to stay online one day to vote. You know, as presidents have said, voting is the power in a democracy. Lyndon Johnson said, without it, other votes, other rights are meaningless because it allows us to control our destinies. You know, I think in a certain extent, if we become participants and not spectators.
Okay, Jerry made another comment here. He mentioned yesterday about minimum wage. It's a joke. I didn't really believe him that much. I thought in Texas, I was thinking it would probably be $10. And yeah, that's low, minimum. But he just said it's $7.25. That was the minimum wage a generation ago. Wow, no, that really is low. Wow. Was it always that low? Did it drop recently? And what was it 20 years ago? Or 15? 15.
Will rise again. It won't be some foreign body out there. It's us. It's we the people. The the statistic that really scared me before this election was the idea that 77% of the people used to believe in the mid-1960s that government did right almost all or all of the time. It's down to lower than 20% right now. But maybe if we're part of the process and we continue to vote at these rates, even more rates without a pandemic, without voter suppression, then we'll have control of the democracy, and that's the most important thing.
I mean, it is crucial when you think about it, and you know, this should be permanent, right? That these various ways, right, to enfranchise people, it's sort of one of those things that was staring us right in the face. That the solution to it could have been really this easy to have early
Now look at the graffiti on the street there.
voting and mail-in, and we didn't do it until now. I mean, it's incredible perspective that you offer. Donald Trump is now
Car crashes.
only the 10th president in
That's what Sticks is going to say. All society is just becoming a mess. It's going to all fall apart. Which is why you need to stock up. You got to get this stuff. Plenty of it.
American history to be rejected by voters in his quest for a second term.
I'll talk more about. Look at that. I'm going to talk more about exactly why you need to stock up. I'm going to motivate you to do it if you haven't already.
I've been seeing a lot of people in the crowd behind me where we are gathered across the wall.
This is live. We've caught up.
Chicago. So I'm going to step out for 1 second. And what you're seeing behind me is a rally of people, obviously, that is formed. But more importantly, people have been coming by on Michigan Avenue, just to their right, behind this police line, honking their horns as people have been cheering and celebrating, as others have held Biden-Harris signs up, American flags up, things of that nature. And even beforehand, this is a rally that actually moved over the course of a block and a half or so, where the day started right outside of Trump Tower as people were cheering and at first just taking pictures. But as the day grew on, as the day went on, the emotions, of course, got higher and more excited. It's no secret. This is downtown Chicago. This is a very blue part of the country within a very blue state.
Another channel here. And over to Fox.
Look, and you just said 70 million votes. I mean, you know, the most votes in the history of the country go to Joe Biden. The second most votes in the history of our country go to Donald Trump. And you look at how the Republican Party fared in this, and the Republican Party will maintain control, it appears, of the Senate, picked up seats in the House. You know, you look at all these things they checked the boxes with. Did well with Hispanics, much better than expected. Did well, seemingly with seniors, amidst the coronavirus pandemic. So the Republican Party, some say, is very well positioned to move forward going into 2022 and 2024. Your thoughts on where all this stands?
So in the decade that I've spent so far in the Senate, one of the most depressing features of the post-election period, almost every Congress, is that the fighting begins for the next election almost immediately. Mm-hmm. All I know, Trace, is that there are millions of people watching, hoping that...
I just noticed there, and they're outside of a Trump Tower, I guess. Chicago. So, yeah, this video is long enough now. I can always keep going, but don't want to be too long. I'm looking forward to checking out Sticks, though. So I'll do that. But for now, post your comments below. I want to know what you think about, does this abrupt ending here, what do you think will be the consequences of that? Do you think this will just blow over? Or are there people out there that are questioning how they did that so fast? On top of all the other stuff, all the complaints they already have. So subscribe and turn your notifications on. Get notification of my next video, it's going to be, you're going to want to see that. And thumbs up or down. All right. I'll see you in a couple hours.